This afternoon marks the final race of the round of 12 of the NASCAR 21 Ignition Career Mode Playoffs for season number 1, and a tight points battle will be on the horizon heading into the Bank of America Roval 400 at the Charlotte Roval over the next 109 laps. It is drivers like Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, former winners of this very race at this point in the season, who are below the cutoff line and may need a win to get in. And if one of those drivers do win, all heck is going to break loose, as the top drivers from 4th through 8th in the standings are only separated by about a dozen points. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we are about to get into today's race, and we'll go through today's starting lineup at the Charlotte Roval. Welcome everybody aboard here into this one, a Sunday afternoon edition of NASCAR 21 Ignition. A double header today on the channel due to no races last night, so we will be having our first race of the doubleheader right here, right now, NASCAR 21 Ignition Career Mode. After this one at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time later on this afternoon, we will run race number 2. It'll be NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 Truck Series Racing, and that will take place on the custom schedule season on that side at the Kansas Speedway. There's the point standings on the left side of your screen above the camera coming into tonight's race, or I should say today's race. William Byron, the only driver locked up into the round of 8 of the playoffs. He had a win in the opening race of the round at Las Vegas. Denny Hamlin did win at Talladega. He was eliminated, though, in the round of 16 of the playoffs. Was one of the upsets in that last round. Kyle Larson sitting 40 points above the cutoff line. Pretty comfortable that he is likely going to end up making it into the next round of the playoffs, but it's not guaranteed for sure, because he would have to be at least 39 points ahead of the 21 of DiBenedetto, who holds the last spot right now. That is not quite the case, but honestly, as long as nobody below the cutoff line wins today and Larson doesn't DNF, he'll make it into the next round, no problem. Martin Truex Jr. comes in 21 points above the cutoff line. Joey Logano 19 points to the good, but this is where it really gets tight. 4th and 5th right now, or I should say 5th and 6th in the standings right now, is Kyle Busch and our driver, of course, myself, Keegan Schneider, both sitting only 13 points above the cutoff line. Brad Keselowski only 12 points above the cutoff line. Matt DiBenedetto 8 points above the cutoff line. He is the 8th and final spot coming into this race today. The drivers below the cutoff line, as mentioned, Ryan Blaney minus 8 points, Chase Elliott minus 11, Kevin Harvick minus 14, and Tyler Reddick in a must-win situation practically at minus 33 points coming into today's race. Now, if a driver below the cutoff line, one of those 4, goes on to win this race today, that means DiBenedetto would be bumped out as of right now. Keselowski would only be 4 points above him. Kyle Busch and Keegan Schneider only 5 points above him. Joey Logano, who comes into this race 4th in the standings, is not going to be that much further ahead. He's only going to be 9 points to the good. Martin Truex Jr. only 11 points to the good as the number 3 seed, if somebody below the cutoff line goes to victory lane today. Of course, with the live commentary, with this full race live stream, we're going to have a live commentary of the Busch Clash in just 14 days, 2 weeks away from that Sunday afternoon event. It'll be the first live commentary race of the season, so getting hyped for that. And of course, the Daytona 500, 4 weeks away from today, 28 days away. I will be there. We'll be having videos at the Daytona International Speedway all the way through Speed Weeks leading up to the 500. Race highlight videos, other special videos I have, predictions, post-race analysis from the races leading up to the 500, and then of course the 500 on that Sunday. So a lot of great stuff to happen here on the channel as we get closer and closer to NASCAR racing returning. DB Forever 85, Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Excuse me. Hopefully the mic is working properly. I was delayed there by about 3 minutes trying to make sure it was still going to work. I had to plug my headphone into it. I'm not sure exactly what the audio sounds like exactly for you guys, because we have not done this on YouTube. So if you need me to turn it down a bit, just let me know. And we'll get into the starting lineup now for today's race. It'll be Martin Truex Jr. on the front row with Chase Elliott, who needs a great points day at least to get himself into the next round. Denny Hamlin, William Byron, the most 2 recent winners, will be sitting 3rd and 4th on the starting grid in row 2. Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon in row 3. Busch comes in 13 points above the cutoff line. Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski will be in row 4. Harvick below the cutoff line by 11. He can make that up on points today, but a win guarantees you a spot in the next round. Brad Keselowski comes in, one of the last drivers above the cutoff line, at plus 12. Tyler Reddick and Chris Buescher will round out the top 10. And for myself, we will be starting last at today's race. For whatever reason, in qualifying, the game did not actually take into consideration my lap. We have had that issue with this game so many times this season. In fact, it's already happened 3 times in the playoffs alone. Darlington, I know it happened. It also happened in the Talladega, or no, not Talladega. Richmond, that's right, Richmond, because I started last. We did win that one. And now here today, same thing. I make a qualifying lap. For whatever reason, it just does not count. I actually made 2 qualifying laps in the opening round, and it did not count. Now, I did run practice, and Schneider was 7th in practice, so he does have a fast car today. We'll see if he can come from the tail end of the field. Again, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get this Sunday afternoon doubleheader underway. Boy, is it going to be a fun one. Hopefully, at the Charlotte Roval, we can make all 109 laps. Have to survive, and at all costs, a 48 needs to make his way into the next round if he's going to want a good shot to win this championship. Any shot, really, to win the championship. Don't want to be eliminated today. Refuse to lose mentality will be on full display, but he's got to be patient. It's a longer race. Final road course race of the year is underway. Green flag is in the air as Martin Truex Jr. leads him into the heartburn turn. Schneider trying to get through these backmarker cars as quickly as possible. Gets squeezed by Brendan Gaughan. Austin Cindric scrapes the wall and then makes a little bit of contact with the 96 of Ty Dillon. Schneider on the outside right now looking to make some passes. It doesn't take much contact in this game to cause an accident. It's going to be tough. Especially to go from the back at a very narrow road course like this one. Schneider just feathering the throttle. Right behind a couple cars who are side by side of BJ McLeod, Josh Bilicki. He'll follow Bilicki to the inside of McLeod in the 78 car, trying to side draft him. McLeod with a block, though, in the middle of oval turns 1 and 2. They try to get up to speed. A little bit of a check up there. And, oh, big slide by the 52. A real wheel hop. Locking up the brakes, perhaps. Schneider made a couple passes on entry into that backstretch chicane. And on the opening lap, he has moved up 6 positions. Final race before the patch tomorrow. Maybe, depending on what time the patch comes out tomorrow, because I am recording the Kansas race tomorrow. That will be premiered. This will be the last one before the actual update itself, yes, but lap 1 is in the books. 70-degree, partly cloudy skies in Charlotte for the Roval, virtually, of course. Outside my actual house, we are currently getting dumped with a bunch of snow right now. So last night, after I watched the Packers game, oh, accidentally downshifted instead of upshifted there. A little mistake from the 48. Crosses over Joey Gase to the inside, looking to make the pass, and got it. But anyway, they said that they were supposed to get, or I was supposed to specifically get in my area about 3 inches of snow total accumulation between today and tomorrow. We're up over 5 to 6 inches right now, and that's just today. So they definitely missed the weather prediction, to say the least. But I'm off of work anyway. We're going to have a doubleheader anyway here today and give you guys some great content on the channel. Big bounce off the curb by Quinn Houff that allows the 48 of Schneider to try and cross him over, but he couldn't quite stay alongside the 00. It's only 1 spot gained on lap 2 so far after 6 spots were gained on the opening lap. Schneider sends it into the bus stop around Quinn Houff. He'll make the pass for position. Schneider trying not to be overly aggressive in the braking zone. He doesn't want to force himself into a mistake. A DNF today, and I can guarantee that that will end his championship hopes this season. A DNF in the first 2 races of the round, but very fortunate. A lot of drivers did not have a great run at Talladega. Only 4 of them finished inside the top 10. That helped the 48 out immensely. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. Schneider trying to undercut turn 8, much like Chase Elliott liked to do at the Roval. Learning from his teammate to try and make the pass on James Davison in the 15. Davison going down to try and side draft Schneider. A little bit of contact. nearly turned the 15 around. Schneider going to be able to outbrake Davison. Into the backstretch chicane, pass is made. Kurt Busch at the back of the pack right now. That's very interesting. Of course, he was eliminated in the opening round of the playoffs along with Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Austin Dillon. Benedetto, the underdog that made it into the round of 12, I'd say, of the driver list that we saw eliminated. Guys like Denny Hamlin and maybe even Christopher Bell we expected to make the round of 12. They did not. Potentially Kurt Busch as well. It's just how strong this playoff field is. Still a lot of former champions left remaining. You have a rookie, and of course, Benedetto, somebody who just got his first career win in the final race of the regular season at Daytona just to get into the playoffs. Had to win that race, did it, and now he's got a shot to make it to the round of 8 today, 8 points above the cutoff line coming in. Anthony Alfredo fighting hard for position with fellow rookie driver, rookie of the year in this rookie season of the career mode, Keegan Schneider. Schneider downshifted to first gear, and that might have cost him. He was revving the engine maybe just a bit too much. Hobson line now in the draft of Anthony Alfredo. Alfredo checked up. Schneider got into the back of him off the oval of turns 1 and 2. Schneider pinching Alfredo, not going to be able to make a pass on him there. You're going to be seeing some smoke spraying around. I noticed that in practice. Once I got like 3 to 4 laps into a run, there was some smoke. It's not because I'm locking the tires up or spinning the tires in any way. It's just the game and another reason that adds into, you know, graphically it's not even as good as people say. Schneider actually charged pretty hard into turn 1 that time. Trying to close the gap on Eric Almirola in front of him. Massive run, and now he'll move to the inside, locking the brakes up that time around, but he does make the pass, and now he's all over Ross Chastain. Schneider being a little bit more aggressive on this lap, as we're 5 laps in, trying to make passes, because you got to imagine the cars at the front of the field are not only the fastest, but they're pulling away. They've got clean traffic right now. Schneider obviously does not, though he has moved up to 27th early on, and really he's only made contact on 2 occasions, very minimal contact. Crosses under Ross Chastain, sends it, makes the pass on the 42, and he's up to 26th. Ristall Cup, welcome to the stream as well. Yeah, hopefully we don't have to do any trivia or anything today, and hopefully we can get through this race in its entirety, and if we do, it's going to be an insane battle for those final spots in the playoffs. Again, if Chase Elliott, who started second, or even Ryan Blaney, a former winner of this race, Kevin Harvick qualified in the top 7, any one of those 3 drivers, including even Tyler Reddick, who has a win on a road course this season. Back at Road America, he won. This is just amazing, the circumstances that could happen. If that does happen, that would only put Schneider 5 points above the cutoff line. So starting at the back, not ideal situation in the circumstances of this game that put into place that he's going to have to do it. Next win would be career win number 10 for the 48. Very close quarters racing with the 14 at Briscoe. He hopped up off the curb on the exit of turn 3, spinning the tires a bit, allowing for the 48 to get to the inside. Very, very tight window here. 14 pinching the 48 off. And now he puts the bumper. And makes the pass on Chase Briscoe. For position. Didn't appreciate getting pinched the corner before. Put the bumper to him in turn 8. Makes the pass. Schneider hard on the brakes into the bus stop. Bus stop chicane. I don't know what the actual terminology here is at the Roval, at least, with both of them, because there's 2 of them. Cole Custer basically sacrificed that position to the 48. Schneider gaining time now on Corey LaJoie. LaJoie with a defensive line into turn 1. Holding the 48 car back a bit. All the smoke pouring out of the 48 in this, again, it's just a graphical error with this game, but It makes it look like there's like a head gasket blown because that's quite a bit of smoke. Can't worry about it though, just gotta drive on. Yeah, it's because I'm going less than 100 miles per hour. I don't know why that's the case in this game, because it does it on the short tracks, too. Kind of trying to work his way around Corey LaJoie. He's going to send it. Again, just trying to close on the 7. Oh, and he almost blew the corner. Had to get on the brakes there in the middle of the backstretch chicane to keep it off the wall. He gained so much time on corner entry, but he lost it all and then some off the exit. LaJoie backing it up. Schneider going to be able to send it now off of oval 4 into the front stretch chicane. And whatever time he lost that lap to the 7, he gains it right back. Trying to head down into turn 1. Again, the 7 pinches the 48. Schneider sends it for the spot. Off the turtle. Makes the pass for 22nd. And wins the race back to the gas, it looks like. Maybe LaJoie trying to cross him over. Schneider going to pinch him off. He's clear. Tough to tell without a rearview mirror. Schneider was committed, though. Oh, and he nearly put it in the wall. He had a big slide. Part of which was because he didn't downshift to second gear. So hard to remember the shifts in this game for me mentally because of the different buttons for the shifting, and that's why I miss a lot of shifts in this game. And why we saw a mistake like I did back at Sonoma where with 32 to go, we were just dominating the race, and that was one of the DNFs. Of course, that could have been 5 more playoff points for the 48, which could have put him 18 points to the good instead of 13. All those wins I got away from the 48 car this year. This is where you start to think about it the most, but you can't. You just got to block it out and go with the task at hand, and can only accomplish things going forward. Schneider trying to make the dive bomb move underneath Christopher Bell. Not quite going to work there. Opening run pretty successful so far for the 48. He makes the pass on Bell between turns 3 and 4. Closes in on Ryan Newman for 20th, and will have made his way halfway through the field already. Big move on Newman. Gonna look to undercut the corner like he did to get around the 42 of Chastain. Great set of corners there for the 48 of Schneider. Couldn't have really done that any better. Just finessing his way around this track. He does have 2 wins on road courses this season. Most recent coming on the Indianapolis road course. Has a win back at COTA this season as well. But that's interesting because both of those road courses were new to the Cup Series. This one is not. Newer, but not exactly new. These Cup Series regulars have raced on it. Unlike those other 2 where maybe it was a little bit even playing field. Seems like the accelerations were the 48's lacking the most if you had to pick a weak spot. And he makes the pass on McDowell. The out-braking is where he's really able to gain quite a bit of time. He might give the spot back up to McDowell. Thought about throwing the block, but McDowell beat him to the inside. Schneider going to try to cross over the 34 now. Almost gets into him. That was pretty close. Should be able to undercut this corner. Just like he did on Ryan Newman the lap before. So he makes his way back around the 34 of Michael McDowell. Kyle Larson back in the 17th position. Not a strong run early on, but again, he is almost a guaranteed lock for the playoffs coming in. With no stage points and 40-point cushion is pretty comfortable. Even without, or with stage racing, to be pretty comfortable. As long as even if he finished dead last today, if we don't get a winner below the cutoff line, Larson will be in the next round of the playoffs. So he's not a complete lock, because we could get a winner below the cutoff line. Heck, one of those guys could be Chase Elliott, but even if that happened, he would have to finish outside the top 30 as well. So even running in 17th early on, not great. But the regular season champion, and the driver with the best average finish by far, is looking to keep his playoff hopes alive. Matt DiBenedetto only 8 points above the cutoff line, though. Him in 16th, not great early on. Schneider just passed his teammate Larson pretty cleanly. All over Matty D now. Nice clean pass made on the 21. Schneider going up the block. Wanted to make sure he was going to have DiBenedetto cleared, and he definitely did. Schneider trying to gain a lot of time into the backstretch chicane as he tries to close in on Bubba Wallace at the 23. Rounds out the top 15. Wallace checked up a little early into the corner. They're breaking a lot earlier off of oval turn 4 compared to what the 48 is. Big bounce off the curb from Schneider, and he nearly gets into the wall on the front stretch. Remember, the first time he hit the wall at Bristol, he blew a tire, so it might not take much of a hit to blow the tires. He's got to keep the car on the racetrack. Maybe even contact with another car could cut a tire as well. Also another reason he's got to be careful. He's in a good spot, it looks like, on Bubba Wallace to try and make the pass for position. Still side by side. Schneider gasses it up. He clears Wallace. So already inside the top 15. It only took 12 laps. But as he gets more and more through this field, it's more spaced out towards the front. It's going to make it a little bit harder on him. Not going to be gaining positions quite as rapidly. Usually in a championship winning season, there is a championship defining win throughout the year. I think for Kyle Larson, it was the Roval in 2021. Could that be the same for his teammate Keegan Schneider today on the career mode on NASCAR 21 Ignition? He's had 9 wins this year, but he hasn't had that one where he's been put up with the back against his wall. Usually those wins have been dominating just mainly because of the car itself and just keeping it clean. Almost as if a veteran is behind the wheel of the 48 still. That's not the case. Schneider knocking on the back bumper of the 99 of Suarez. But in a tight points battle coming into the Roval, and with 4 DNFs in the first 5 playoff races, you have to assume this is not going to be easy for the 48 today. On the outside, trying to make the pass on Daniel Suarez, and he gets the job done. What a move from the 48. He's passed a lot of cars on the inside in those set of corners through turns 8 and 9. But now he did it on the outside, a power move on the 99. Schneider will be switching rides for next season. Unaware of which team he will be racing for as of right now. You guys will get to vote down in the community tab, or over in the community tab on the channel, and polls once we get to the end of this opening season. So Bowman will be back in the 48 next year, I would have to assume, unless somebody else fills in the 48, which I guess is not impossible. We'll be seeing a couple driver swaps, I'm sure, next season. Schneider will not be the only one. NASCAR fan, Ethan, welcome to the stream, guys. Oh boy, Schneider just about blew that corner. He still gained on Stenhouse, he is pushing really hard. Of course, the dirty air not helping. The tires gradually getting a little bit older. He's definitely within striking distance of Stenhouse. I think he could get around him by the end of the lap as long as Stenhouse doesn't pull him too much on the oval portion of the racetrack. Go to the 5 next year. No, well, we're not going to be racing with Hendrick Motorsports. I don't get my pick of what car for what team. I would probably be in the 48 again next year if I ran for Hendrick Motorsports. That's why we're switching teams. Just to let you guys pick my rides. Stenhouse gets out of the gas a little early. Schneider blows by him. In competition for position that time around, Schneider's up to 13th. Ooh, brushes the wall. Got to be careful with that. Had a pretty big bounce off the curb when he got back into the gas. It caused him to push a little bit wide. Curbs are treacherous here. Not as bad as NASCAR Heat 5, but they're pretty bad. JVC 1103, welcome to the stream. Field goal at the end. That was a clutch kick by Robbie Gold, though. And that, with the icy, snowy field, 45-yarder was... Yeah, that's a tough kick in those circumstances anyway. I know these guys are professionals. They expect them to make it, but that's not an easy kick in general. In those conditions, had to have been the biggest kick of his career. And he's had a pretty long, successful career as a kicker, too. Schneider almost gets into the back of Logano. That was a close one. You can see the front tires chattering on the 48 just to keep it off of Logano. Well, it is a career mode. I mean, you shouldn't really get the choice to pick what car you're going to ride. You're lucky you even get the team to pick the team. We're probably going to be able to pick from every team, I'd have to assume. I'm waiting on the polls just to make sure, though. That's why I haven't started the polls yet. I'll have to wait till after the end of the season. Schneider sends it in on Logano, trying to make the pass. He's on the inside and has to duck in line behind him. Oh, great setup move. Logano trying to pinch him back, but Schneider wins the race back to the throttle. Nice clean pass made on the 22. Ryan Blaney. If nobody wins below the cutoff line, he needs to beat the Wood Brothers 21 car by 8 positions to get the final spot on points to move into the round of 8. Schneider almost misses the bus stop, and he nearly spins out into the wall, locking the brakes up, and that will give up the spot back to Logano he gained earlier in the lap. That was a great catch by the 48 car. As the tire wear increases, sends it back on the 22. Logano didn't see him there. It was a late dive. Logano slides, and he nearly ends up in the wall now. Now he clips the 22. All over that back bumper. Looking to make a pass. This was the same spot on the track he got around Logano the last lap. Schneider's there. He's on the inside of Joey. Logano beats him back to the throttle, though. Schneider wanted to make sure he wasn't going to lose too much time that time around. He just, no matter whether he drops it to first gear, second gear, keeps it in third, he just cannot get the acceleration off the exit of these sharper corners. Again, though, he closes on Logano. Onto the front stretch chicane. He gives a tap to the 22 again. Logano sends it on his teammate Blaney. Into turn 1, nearly gets into him. It's going to back Logano up for the next couple of corners into turn 3. Schneider gets into the back of Logano, nearly spins him out. But he will make the pass on the 22 once again. Dark Crypto, welcome into the chat. Hard racing early on at the Roval. A lot of drivers have a lot to lose today. But they are going at it early. For every spot possible, even with no stages on the line. Much cleaner pass made on Logano's teammate Ryan Blaney that time. Schneider up to 11th, the highest position he has been in today as he blocks Blaney up into the ovals of 1 and 2. And Chris Buescher, 10th. Brad Keselowski in 9th. Brad K only 12 points to the good. Schneider sends it, and what a move as he closes in on Chris Buescher. An absolute ton there. He's going to make the pass. Buescher lets him go. Maybe a little respect for the non-playoff driver, Chris Buescher, and Schneider's inside the top 10 for the first time today. Under the 60-man playoff format, no rookies ever made it to the round of 8 of the playoffs. Schneider trying to do that today. Contact with Keselowski again. Getting pinched off. Big block by Brad. So he's hopping up off the curbing as well. Schneider is there. Hugs the corner. And he is clear. On the outside into turn 8 to make the pass. Second time he's passed the car on the... Well, I guess he wasn't in turn 8 when he made the pass. He kind of cleared him right before that. I guess it won't count it. It wasn't quite like he passed Suarez a little bit earlier on in the run when he was legitimately on the outside in turns 8 and 9. Couple of the RCR boys right in front of Schneider now, running 7th and 8th of Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick. Martin Truex Jr., the pole sitter, is back to 6th place. Leads me to believe that Chase Elliott may be leading this race right now. Not in a must-win situation, but he does have to outscore the 21 of DiBenedetto by 11 spots, which as of right now he would be in on points. But a win would guarantee it for obvious reasons. He would still have to beat Blaney by 3 spots as well. Which again, so far he is. Blaney in 11th, 12th rather, and Elliott may be leading. Schneider looking to make the pass on Tyler Reddick. Already to lap 20, end of the fuel run will be coming very shortly. It's going to be anywhere between a 3 to a 4 stop race today. It's going to be very, very close on whether some of these drivers can make it on 3 stops or not, and that could dictate who makes it and who doesn't make it into the playoffs, especially if the race goes green today. Undercut move. Schneider's made that move a few times working his way through the field, and he makes a pass on Reddick using that same move for 8th. NFL, welcome to the stream. Got the fake NFL user channel down in the chat. Reddick almost got to the outside of the 48. He backed out of the gas, and I believe he just let the 48 go. Schneider closes on Austin Dillon heavily into the braking zone. May have beat Dillon back to the gas. It's going to be a heck of a haul into turn 1. Dillon going to try to pinch off the 48. Schneider sends it on Austin Dillon into turn 3. Makes the pass. Truex and Harvick right in front of him for spots. Denny Hamlin is actually leading this race right now, not Chase Elliott. Schneider may get to the top 5 before the end of this first run, which would be impressive of itself. Trying to make the pass on Martin Truex Jr. right now. He does. For 6th place, the 48 from the back of the field, trying to work his way to the front. Can he get his third career win on a road course and his third road course win of his rookie season? Schneider sliding a ton as he races Harvick for 5th. Byron is up in 3rd place. He's had a stellar playoff. Maybe even looking like the championship favorite throughout the playoffs so far with 3 wins in the first 5 playoff races. Schneider sends it in on Harvick. What a pass! Outbreaking the 4 car in the front stretch chicane for 5th. Harvick left a lot of room open. Schneider sent it. Harvick did a great job keeping it off the 48 as well. I'm not sure if he was aware if Schneider was going to make that move or not. Seemed like he was questionably on... It was going to be questionable on how far back he was going in. Oh, he nearly turns Busch around. That would have been pretty bad. There he goes. Schneider up to 4th, though. 3rd place, William Byron right in front of him as well. Schneider in the wall! Oh, no! I told you it would not take a hard hit into the wall to blow a tire in this game, and there it is on lap 22. Major playoff implications for the 48. He drove from the rear of the field up to 4th, and now he'll have to pit for a blown right front tire this time around. The second time he had hit the wall today. First time in that corner. Keselowski knocking him out of the way. Unbelievable. And now he's going to have to work his way into the pit lane a few laps early. It's definitely going to be a 4-stop race for the 48. 3 for everyone else now. Got to make sure he doesn't speed. And he's got to hope for no pit road glitch either. And into the pits perfectly fine. No pit road glitch under the first stop of the day. Unscheduled stop for the 48 of Schneider. 4 tires and fuel. No adjustments. A little bit of damage obviously to the 48, but he can't repair it. And now going to have to rebound early on. A long race still to go. And he's hoping that he can at least stay on the lead lap. In case we were to get a yellow. It is definitely a 4-stop race unless we get a few cautions, and maybe he can save it up fuel to still make it on 3, but he's pitting at least a few laps before everybody else. Drama in the early going of the Bank of America Roval 400. Schneider working his way back up onto the racetrack. I believe he is a lap down. So now he's definitely going to need it to stay green for quite some time. Tires were getting older. He was pushing harder and harder and harder, and he just pushed it a little too hard too late in the run. Back to 33rd as he looks to make the pass on Quinn Houff on the outside here, and will. He's got fresher tires, so he'll try to make up some ground. He obviously lost a lot of ground. He had to go half a lap on that blown right front tire and lost about 8 positions before even making it into the pit lane. Well, now it's really time to push for the 48. I don't think he's got too much damage. Speed shouldn't be an issue and shouldn't have knocked the handling out of the car that much. It seems like it's handling pretty well so far. 48's got a long way to go. He's probably going to have to finish in the top 20 at bare minimum just to make it into the next round. We know he does not have to win, no matter who wins this race. He may have to finish top 5 depending on who's going to be there at the end of the race. And for him to get to 4th and then have that issue after starting last due to a game glitch of not scoring either one of his 2 qualifying laps in session 1 of knockout style round qualifying. We'll see. He's got about 3/4 of the race to try and make this time back up. He's had to fight through adversity a couple times this year, but in the process of doing so, he either didn't make it to the end of the race or just ended up not getting a good finish anyway. Gonna have to have a championship-like performance today coming in, and even more so now. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today when we get back to the start-finish line. It looks like Chase Elliott is currently running in the second position, which makes sense. Didn't see him working his way up through the field. Schneider sends it into the front stretch of chicane. You can really see those tires sliding off the oval turn 4 there. Up to 28th now, so that tells me a couple cars hit pit road that last lap. Didn't downshift to second gear. That's why Davison pulled away as much as he did. Back up onto the banking of oval 1 and 2. Schneider trying to make the close. Into the backstretch chicane. He's going to have to just check up behind Davison right now. Going to have to watch to see if Davison pits this time as well. Schneider's going to hope... No, he's got to be coming in. He's running a very low line. No, he does not pit. Denny Hamlin does, though. Schneider was scared to make the pass, even though he had a big run on the 15. He didn't want to have that 15-car pit. It would have really costed the 48. Underneath Davison, still side by side. Now he's clear. Not gonna lie, it's a little earlier in this race, but I am nervous about that blown right front tire to see if this 48 is going to be able to come back. And it just puts so much pressure on him to run perfect the rest of the race, because the more issues he has, it's going to put him that much further behind the 8 ball. And it's going to make it that much harder on him making it into the next round, of course. So he has to be nearly perfect from here on out. And he never made a mistake. He barely made contact with any other drivers working his way to that point in the field. And the worst part about it was that was only the second time he had even hit the wall. And he very lightly scraped it off the exit of the front stretch chicane about a dozen laps prior to that. And almost similar to Bristol, where he really never hit the wall. And Bristol, it was the first time. Today it was the second, and that's all it took. Cycles right back out to 17 of Chris Buescher. He battles him for position, currently for 12th. Schneider up to 13th. Still not sure if everybody has pit in front of him. Buescher was in 10th earlier on. So all in all, Schneider, if he cycles out in 13th, that's not bad. He could definitely come back from that. The problem, though, is he may have to make an extra pit stop. That's going to be the bad part. It's going to be a fuel mileage race for a lot of these drivers. They may have to pit 4 times still, and if that is the case, it may not cost Schneider as much, but if he has to make 4 and everybody can make it on 3, that's where it's really going to hurt the 48. Massive bounce up off the curbing that time. And the backstretch chicane will lose some time. Kevin Harvick had a very slow pit stop. He was in the top 5 earlier. He's now back to 14th. Not what he needs being below the cutoff line. Harvick eliminated in the round of 12 of the playoffs in real life in 2021. Though he went winless in real life, I believe he's got 2 wins on this career mode season. At least one. You may have two. Buescher's got about 5 lap fresher tires than Schneider right now as well, which is kind of another bad thing for the 48. He's having a hard time just trying to keep up with him. Another big bounce off the curb. Harvick's not really gaining a whole lot on him, but Buescher's definitely pulling away from the 48. Oh, car coming out of the pits, BJ McLeod. And he just merged right into the 48. Hopefully the contact wasn't too significant. I don't believe it was. A blind pit road, and McLeod had little wherewithal that Schneider was there, just like Schneider had little wherewithal that he was there. Schneider is back to 9th place, by the way, with more cars pitting. William Byron had a slow stop as well, was in 3rd place leading into the pit stops, now back to 7th. So him and Harvick both had very slow stops. So Schneider's back inside the top 10. Lap traffic now, right around where the leaders are at. Ryan Blaney up to 6th. That is a great run for him. He's going to have to gain even more points than just on the 21. He's going to have to beat the 2 of Keselowski by quite a few spots if Elliott, say, wins this race today. Or Harvick, considering that those guys are all in the top 10 still. Schneider sends it. Trying to make the pass on the 17 of Buescher. Almost missed it. And look at how slow he was trying to get back up onto the oval. A giant bounce off the curb nearly led him into the wall again. Had that awkward angle getting in, which led to him hitting the curb with all 4 tires instead of just 2. Really bounced the car up quite a bit. Noah Gragson in the 62 car, by the way. Schneider with his undercut move. Looking to make the pass on Gregson. Or, sorry, not Gregson. That is Gone. In the 62 car. Gregson. Sorry, I keep saying Gregson. It's because Brendan Gaughan didn't actually race in 2021. Good crossover move, though. Schneider will make the pass on him finally as Gaughan pulls over and lets the 48 go, but he lost a lot of time to both the 12, 24, and the 17. Trying to gain as much of that back into the front stretch chicane as possible. Really good set of corners that time for Schneider. Schneider's really pulled a lot closer to the 17 over the last couple laps. Even with the slowdown with the 62. Schneider with his undercut move drives to the inside of Buescher. Sends it into the next corner, makes a clean pass on the 17 of Buescher, and Schneider's back to 8. Trying to rally from the blown right front tire. pushing extremely hard. As mentioned, pushing really hard that time. And again, he makes his way through the front stretch chicane pretty well as he closes on the 24 of William Byron. His teammate, who he struggled to get around earlier. Schneider on the outside. I doubt that that's going to work. Does not. Maybe a setup move for the next couple of corners. Patrick Shadley, welcome to the stream. Schneider dive bombs under Byron for a spot for 7th. 24 is there. Schneider tried not to side draft 24, or tried not to let the 24 side draft him when he should have just went up the track and tried to side draft Byron himself and try to slow him down that way. Pretty good run. Schneider is there on the 24. He's committed. He's going to send it into the front stretch chicane on the 24 of Byron. Byron just let him go. Blaney slides the tires into the corner now. Also making maybe a minor mishap. Lap car is slowing up Blaney. That would be Quinn Houff in the 00. Schneider into turn 3. Looking low on the 12. All over Ryan Blaney, but he can't get around him. As they battle, might bring the 24 car back into it again. Schneider still there. Might try the undercut move now into turns 8 and 9. He does. He gasses it up. He'll get to the inside of Blaney into turn 9. Now can he beat him back to the throttle? Spins the tires, trying to get back to the gas, and the 12 is clear still. Really pulled away, and here comes Byron. He'll sit in line behind the 48 into the backstretch chicane. Schneider sends it. He's going to miss it. He's going to miss the chicane. He's got to come to a stop. His first penalty of the race today. And that's going to cost him 2 positions. Back to 9th. He's trying desperately to get around the 12. And he pushed just a little bit too hard. Couple massive hops that time off the curbing also. Again, quickly runs down the 17 of Busher. Byron again just kind of creeping up on the 12 of Ryan Blaney, little by little. Busher, checked up, Schneider dives underneath and makes the pass. We'll go back to the far chase cam for now as Schneider works on the 24 and the 12 for positions once again. Lap 35 of the Charlotte Roval, Bank of America Roval 400. The NASCAR 21 Ignition Career Mode, Schneider a blown right front tire on lap number 22. led for him to pit a few laps before everybody else in what was likely going to be a fuel mileage race before, now almost guaranteeing the fact that he is going to have to pit 4 times today. Still caution free. And he only pit a few laps for everybody else, so it didn't cost him that many positions. He wasn't 4th. As you see, he's battling Blaney for 6th. That undercut move will get him the 6th spot into turns 8 and 9. Now he's just got to get around the 0-0 of Quinn Houff as quickly as he possibly can. And he'll just drive right around him on the apron. No problem there. Obviously a little bit better acceleration than the 0-0. Austin Dillon is in 5th place. Not sure how much further ahead of the 48 he is, but 6th place. Not bad, all things considered, but if Schneider has to make one extra stop in this race, that's where it could cost him positions by the end. I think some drivers will be able to make it on 3 stops, but I don't think they all will. Schneider into the front stretch chicane. Now he misses the front stretch chicane. That is unbelievable, and he's going to have to give that spot back up to Blaney. And I believe only Blaney will get by. Well, then again, Byron's going to try the outside. That didn't work. He almost got squeezed into the wall. So that's 2 penalties now just within the last few laps alone for the 48. Is only 2 penalties of the race so far. He has missed the front stretch chicane once and now the back stretch chicane once. Chase Elliott is back in the lead. He has passed the 11 of Hamlin during the 2nd fuel and tire stint of the race. About 14 laps on the 48 of Schneider's tires so far. Schneider's got a big run. Closes on the 12. Didn't blow any corners that lap. And he has a chance into turn 1 to make the pass. He looks to the inside. Even back to the accelerator. Maybe a little bit quicker than the 12. A little nudge. And Schneider has the position. And again, he's back to 6th place. Quickly, Schneider's pulling away from Blaney also. That's the 2nd time in the last 3 laps Schneider's blown the front stretch chicane. He's having a hard time trying to get the car to slow up there. And again, Blaney will get around him on that same area of the racetrack. He's just going to have to start really backing the corners up. I mean, it feels as if he's not pushing as hard as it is, knowing the tire wear, but the tires are sliding so much into the heavy braking zones. Really struggling to get the car to rotate. Doesn't help he's probably only 6 to 10 laps away from his next pit stop. He either nails it perfectly or on 2 occasions he has completely missed now. That front stretch chicane, it's really hit or miss. Martin Truex Jr. is out of the race seemingly in last place right now. That is very interesting for the pole sitter to be out of the race. He came in 21 points above the cutoff line, but with Blaney running in 6th, Elliott in 2nd, and they were both below the cutoff line. Harvick's in the top 10, Reddick's in 12th. Is that going to eliminate Martin Truex Jr.? And maybe for a guy like Blaney, I mean, he would only have to finish 21 positions ahead. And lucky he scraped the wall for the 3rd time. Luckily, he didn't blow a tire that time around. Still made the pass on the 12, though. Schneider slides and sends it in on the 52 of Bilicki as he makes the pass on the lap car in the Rick Ware Racing Machine. I mean, Blaney's obviously more than 21 positions ahead of Martin Truex Jr. And Elliott is more than 11 ahead. Outside of Reddick, who is too far back to catch Truex, Harvick would probably be ahead as well in 10th. 14 positions ahead. So, unless the 9, the 12, and the 4 all DNF, it looks like Martin Truex Jr.'s championship hopes will come to an end. And he is going to be an early exit in the playoffs, much like his teammates Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin. Who would have thought the 3 Joe Gibbs cars would be out of the playoffs before the round of 8 even started? And now the sole survivor of that team is Kyle Busch, trying to go for his 3rd title. Bryce Hendrick's not having a better run. He's known for being a pretty good road course racer. He's currently in 33rd. Other Penske teammates having decent runs. Blaney in the top 10. We saw Brad Kay up in the top 10 earlier. Joey Logano in 4th. Schneider's only going to push it to lap 46, and then he'll make his 2nd stop of the day at lap 46. And it would still be a 2-stopper to the end for him. If we get 2 cautions, he may be able to make it. Not worth taking a risk right now, and with Truex out of the race, that's going to help the 48 as well in trying to make it into the next round. Though if the 48 DNFs, the 19 would still finish ahead of him, considering he came in 8 points ahead of the 48 as it is. Unless we get more than 8 cars of DNF, which I guess isn't impossible either. Schneider blows around the outside of the lap car of Cody Ware. Austin Dillon is the next car ahead of the 48 of Schneider. That would be for 5th. If Schneider could get inside the top 5 before he pits in a few laps, that would be a pretty good comeback so far. Be able to get fresh tires back on this machine and try to go to work once again. Definitely tell the 48's faster than the 3 right now. I don't think he'll have a chance to get around in this lap, but I'm guessing the next lap, Schneider's going to be all over the back of the 3 car of Austin Dillon. Andrew Soto, welcome to the stream. Sorry for your Packers. Well, I appreciate your condolences. I am sorry for them too. Oh, big bounce off the curb. 48 nearly gets into the wall in turn 1. He was within 2 car lengths of Dillon until that big wheel hop. Still battling him. We grow closer to the halfway mark in this afternoon's race. Our first of 2 of a doubleheader Sunday again. NASCAR 05 Chase for the Cup at Kansas. For the Truck Series Custom Schedule season will be next. 6 races to go to crowning a champion there. 5 to go to crowning a champion in this career mode. So some big time NASCAR on the channel today, video game wise. Schneider getting a pretty good run in the draft off Austin Dillon and off of oval turns 1 and 2. He's not going to look to send it here. He's going to be patient. Try to back up the corner. He still closes on Austin Dillon quite a bit. Backing the corner up. That worked well for him. And he's going to have a chance to likely get around him in this front stretch chicane for 5th place. Dillon potentially going to go down and block Schneider to the outside in the 48. And he blows around Dillon that way. Still able to get it slowed down enough to make the corner. Schneider inside the top 5 for the second different time today. The first time since his first stop of the day at lap 22. Pit crew definitely going to want to have to pick it up here these final 3 stops of the day as well if he's going to want a shot to get that 10th career win. And 10th win of the season, of course, in his rookie campaign. Couple more laps away, and then Schneider will end up pitting for his 2nd time in this race. Crew Chief hasn't said anything about the fuel tank yet for the 48 either. Not always accurate in this game though, so I don't think we want to rely off of that. Especially knowing that the 48's on a little bit different of a pit cycle than everybody else. A little too risky. Run out of gas. That's a DNF in this game. Good news is he does have the first pit box, so if he did limp his way into the pits, he wouldn't have to limp his way all the way down pit road. But even still. He's definitely going to be staying out of the pits this time. He's got a lot of clean air in front of him, which will help these older tires a bit. As far as the handling of the race car itself goes. The aerodynamics of it, big wheel hop off the curb that time. He almost cut the corner too much. Could have nearly been his 3rd penalty. He almost backed it up too much. Mentioned Kyle Busch, the sole survivor for Joe Gibbs Racing. As far as the playoffs are concerned, he's in a good spot to at least make it to the round of 8. Currently sitting in the 3rd spot. As high as he's been in the running order so far this afternoon. Schneider going to stay out at least one more lap here. He will not pit this time by, maybe risking it just a tad. I don't think he'll want to push it beyond that. It's just so hard to want to pass up all the clean air and the clean traffic in front of him. Because if he pits, he may not even have clean traffic to work with, even though he'll have a little bit fresher tires. Lap 47 now. This will be lap 25 of this current run. We saw a lot of the field pitting between lap 25 and 27. So Schneider will definitely pit this time by at lap 47. Second of 4 pit stops today, and he's going to just have to hope for a clean stop. No adjustments to the 48 once again. He may catch the Rick Ware car of Joey Gase in front of him before he heads into the pit lane. See Logano's getting slowed up by a lap car quite a bit as well. Schneider's really ran him down. There's James Davidson in the 15 holding up Logano in oval 1 and 2. Schneider into the pits this time. Again, 4 tires and fuel, no adjustments. Speed limit 45 miles an hour. And he'll make his way into the pit lane, no problem. Now just have to hope for the game to not make a mistake. 2 for 2 it looks like on entering the pit box. Well, here we go. If the 88 can get to lap 50, the last stop could be a short one. The 88 or the 48? I'm assuming you meant the 48 of us. But yeah, it would be a short. So I don't think I want to pit short just in case I blow a tire, knowing we already did that. I don't plan on short pitting at all today just because of that reason. We're not going to make it to lap 88 on the next stop. There's no way. That's 40 laps. Schneider working his way out of the pit lane as we speak. He was in 5th place when he pit originally. We'll have to see when the entire field cycles through if he will get back to 5th place. If he'll gain some spots, if he lost some spots. Blows around Reddick. Oh man, nearly went off the track. That was close. Good thing he had that little bit of excess pavement there. Schneider gets back around Reddick in the next couple corners. That was a pass for position up to 11th on Tyler Reddick. Denny Hamlin still leads. Hamlin trying to go for back-to-back wins. Winning at Talladega. Potentially be his 3rd of the season. Even though he was eliminated in the round of 16 of the playoffs, he could still finish as high as 5th in the point standings. Harvick in 10th. Schneider gets ahead of him. And there's one car in the pit lane. It looks like Kyle Larson is pitting just a lap after the 48 did. Schneider now to 9th as Larson was a spot considering he was right around 10th place. Just outside the top 10 going into this set of pit stops originally. Well, I guess because Schneider pit, he would have been inside the top 10. Because Larson was ahead of Harvick still. Harvick's been in the top 10 all day. The only shot against Schneider would have of winning this race is if everybody else still has to pit 4 times. And obviously he would have to go mistake-free the rest of the way. He only made that one mistake, but boy was... Well, okay, he's had 3 penalties total. He's missed the front stretch chicane twice and the back stretch chicane once. Those were minor compared to that blown right front tire. In lap 22, getting into the wall in the short chute of turns 8 and 9. Busher, Byron just up ahead. They're going to stay out of the pits this time. Schneider sends it in on the 17, and Busher makes the pass. Locking it up. Luckily, had the fresh tires to be able to keep the car on the racetrack, because that was a bold pass on the 17. He wanted to waste no time. And now he's got Byron in front of him as well for position. Schneider going for it in turn 3. Off of turn 4, Schneider beats the 24 back to the gas clear. Another spot gain up to 7th. Schneider getting squeezed. 52 of Josh Balicki. Trying to get around him on the outside. And he'll be able to do it. He's in the wall. Luckily, he did not blow a tire. A little ricochet off the 52 car. That probably could have blown a tire right there. That was a good enough hit into the wall. Byron almost got around the 48. Shoots the gap trying to pass him. What a move by William Byron to get around the 48 car after the slow up. Byron may pit this time. Gets into him. Contact between the Hendrick teammates now. Schneider sends it into turn 1. The two youngest Hendrick Motorsport drivers are battling hard for position. Byron hanging in there well on older tires. That is the kind of racing that Schneider does not need, even though he's got a little bit fresher tires. Another mistake. He's just overdriving the car, trying to get too much out of the fresh Goodyears. After he stopped battling the 24, he obviously pulled away pretty quickly. Schneider not wasting any time getting around Ty Dillon. Closes on the 33 of Austin Cindric. He'll make the pass on him into turn 1. Attempts to at least. Can't quite get there. Side drafting. Cindric squeezing. 48. Schneider gets by. And Schneider has cycled back to 4th, which is where he was when he hit pit road. Pagano still scored in 3rd in front of him. Not sure if it's Denny Hamlin or Chase Elliott leading. Byron up to 5th. I still don't believe he has pit yet. All these drivers pitting right now, though, they are definitely not going to be able to make it to the end of this race on 3 stops. So they would only have to make that final run a little bit longer. There's no way anybody's going to go 30 laps on fuel. I mean, they would have to go about... Right now, some of those other drivers who just pitted. And maybe William Byron can make it. The problem is he's lost so much time on his older tires. I believe Byron just pit that last time by. Even if he did save enough to make it to the end, he's just now pitting. And he has 4 cars that are already ahead of him on one less stop than he had made, or one more stop than he had already made. So he wouldn't be able to cycle back around on speed compared to those guys, you wouldn't think. Byron's got a fast car, but he's not quite that fast. Equipment-wise, yes, he's equal to the 48, the 5, and the 9, but he also wasn't quite running up where the 9's at right now either. Schneider backing up this front stretch chicane, trying to dive bomb, and what a pass on Eric Almirola. That was a great move. Keselowski's back to 27th. After running in the top 10 earlier, I think he had a problem in the pit lane or something because he has cycled way back in the field. More drama for the playoff drivers. Again, he was only 12 points to the good. Harvick is outside the top 10 now after his second stop. But Elliott's in the top 5 and Blaney's still in the top 10. Elliott is actually leading this race, so that would put Keselowski, the last driver, above the cutoff line as of right now. By 4 points over DiBenedetto. Haven't quite seen exactly where Matty D's been running recently either. And that would only put Schneider 5 points to the good on Brad Keselowski. Or sorry, on Matt DiBenedetto. He's 1 point ahead of Keselowski. He's 5 ahead of DiBenedetto. Honestly, 4th place would be good enough to make it into the next round as badly as he wants to win. That's why you can't push hard. I think Schneider will take a top 5 if that means he's going to scrape his way into the next round. Earl Arnold Jr., welcome to the stream. If you're talking about the smoke from the braking, no. Whenever you get under 100 miles per hour in this game, once you get a couple laps into a run, for whatever reason it glitches and it shows smoke, even though it has nothing to do with the accelerating, the braking, the shifting, whatever. Because I'm obviously on the gas right now and it's still spewing smoke. It's been doing that all race. The temperatures are normal. Just another glitch with the game. Remember when we were here at the Roval on the custom schedule season that the backstretch chicane looked like a reflection of the sky and it looked like there was water on the track. We've not had that glitch today, luckily, in the career mode. Outside of the smoke, which we've seen on every road course this season and every short track pretty much this year as well, on the longer runs, that I haven't seen a legitimate glitch. Hopefully it stays that way. You're just trying to stay out of trouble. Making the pass on Joey Gase on the outside. Keselowski's up to 18th right now. He must have just had a slow stop, and he's trying to make up as much time as he can now. Some of these backmarker cars have still been pitting over the last couple of laps. Those will be the drivers that can make it on 3 stops, but they're so slow anyway that they're not going to be able to be anywhere close to competitive enough to win this race by the end. Still caution-free in this one as well. We've only had 2 road course races this season where we have seen a caution. Plus a win, though, would guarantee 5 more playoff points for the round of 8 for the 48 team. This team has been abysmal in the mile and a halves. Next 2 races are mile and a halves at Kansas and Texas. And then we head to Martinsville for the final race of the round, which anything could happen there. Good luck making it all 500 laps, especially in this game. Schneider pushing hard. Finally gets by the 20 of Bell. Lap down in 19th. It's another thing for Keselowski. He's a lap down in the 18th place position. Oh, Schneider. You want to talk about overdriving a corner? That was it right there. That looked awkward. That would be how not to finesse your way around a road course. Kyle Busch has cycled back to 5th place, it looks like. So a slow pit stop for the 18. I'd have to assume the top 5 would run Chase Elliott 1st, Denny Hamlin 2nd, Joey Logano 3rd, Keegan Schneider 4th. Another car into the pit lane. That's the 62. Gone. Schneider barely keeps 2 tires up on the curbing. No penalty. Nearly blew the front stretch chicane for a 3rd time today. Quinn Houff coming out of the pits. Right in front of the 48 car. And Schneider will accelerate right on by with these. Schneider's already got 11 laps on the current set of tires. About halfway through the 3rd tire stint of the race. Don't see a time when the patch is coming tomorrow. Have they actually announced that it's coming out tomorrow? Because I haven't looked at their Twitter in a couple weeks. I know they were supposed to have one in January, but I didn't see if there was a date on that exactly. Because they would technically have another 8 days yet for the end of the month. Perfect set of corners through the front stretch chicane that time around. Wish there was a way to tell how far off the lead exactly the 48 is. We don't even know exactly how far behind Joey Logano he is, though you could kind of see Logano up there. There's about 3 lap cars between himself and the 48 of Schneider. Schneider was a lot closer to Logano before he pitted. He was only about 3 seconds behind him, so he obviously lost some time to the 22. So not a great pit stop for the 48 crew. They didn't lose any positions, but they lost interval time to the 22. Keselowski going to let the lead lap car of the 48 on by. It is coming out tomorrow. Santiago Kid, welcome to the stream. What place the 48 in? 4th place right now. Sorry if the leaderboard's cut off a little bit. The points are a little bit more important than the crappy leaderboard in this game. And I say crappy because it's just all over the place. You know what position we're in, and that's about it. You'll see other positions start flashing randomly. It's so hard to tell. The intervals are not accurate. Well, they're accurate with where those cars are compared to you, but then they even change so much, so it's I guess they're really not accurate. They may be accurate when you get within a couple seconds of them, and that's about all the accuracy is. Got 12 people currently watching. We've had as many as 14 watching so far this afternoon. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, live commentary, live streams for video game and real races. Of course, those real races will begin very shortly with the Busch Clash very soon. I don't know if that's going to be a penalty or not. That was borderline. The way the left side tires bounced up off the curb, it was tough to tell if they were over top of where the curbing was or not because his tires came up off the curb so much. I'll let you guys in the chat dictate if that was a penalty or not. I'll have a couple laps to make my stop and go, so I'll leave it up to you guys down in the chat. You guys think I should stop or not? I know you guys probably don't want me to, but I'm trying to base this as realistically as possible, and if I cut the corner, then I'm gonna give myself a penalty. It was really close. It's so close I can't even call it myself, because usually I'm pretty honest with it. I missed the backstretch chicane once already today, and I came to a stop and go. Schneider works his way quickly around the lap car of Ross Chastain. Got him really pulled away very, very quick. Billy says no. What's the other verdict? Any other verdicts out there? Want to voice their opinion? Sure, blows around the 14 of Chase Briscoe. It was close, but no penalty. Yeah, it was extremely close. It was just so hard to tell because the left sides came up off the curb because I hit it. But they looked like they might have been over top of, you know, where the curbing actually was. And if that is the case, it wouldn't have been a penalty. But that's what made it so hard to call. Close quarters racing that time with Ty Dillon. Schneider trying to make the pass on him. Dillon squeezing him. Allowed the 14 of Briscoe in. Schneider drives to the inside of Ty Dillon now, and he'll make the pass up off of turn 9. Well, he was closing in on Logano, but then he wasted a little bit of time getting around Ty Dillon and Chase Briscoe. Tried to gain this time right back again. Alright, well, I'll take it as no penalty then, and we'll drive on. Lap 63 now. Officially at the start-finish line. I'm trying to glance and see other race cars, exactly where they're at. If I could find Chase Elliott or Denny Hamlin at all, who are first and second. So starting at the back, we have just not seen them at all yet today. Hopefully you're enjoying your lunch, Michael. Welcome to the stream. Schneider got back in the gas a little too soon. Ended up having to brake at the last second, killing his momentum through oval 1 and 2. And you want all the speed you can get. That's definitely not going to help. The worst area of the racetrack, really, to have a hiccup just like that. Gano's struggling with another lap car. He's trying to get around the 15th place car of Kurt Busch. Another big bounce off the curb. Schneider barely keeps it on, but again, that nearly launched him into the wall. Trying to pick up the throttle. He's got 15 laps on these tires currently. He went 25 laps on them in the last run. 22 on the first run. Goes 25 again. He'll end up hitting right around lap 77, 78, which would be just over 30 laps to go. Logano's been stuck behind Busch for a whole lap and a half. Now he'll get to the outside and Busch will let him go. Logano won't be behind him into the next heavy braking zone of the backstretch chicane. Great set of corners for the 48. But now Schneider's going to have to get around Kurt Busch as quickly as he can once he gets to him. So he can try to make sure the 22 doesn't pull away. Schneider sends it. Oh, he gets into the back of Busch. That was close. Close to maybe a blown tire or even a spin. Hopefully he didn't put a hole in the nose of the 48. Seems to be driving all right still. Obviously that's costing the 48 time to get around the one of Busch. They try to undercut turn 8. Dive bombs underneath, makes the pass. Schneider finessed his way around Busch through those sets of corners. No lap cars between himself and Logano now. For the first time since the last set of pit stops. So he has ran him back down during this run after Logano had a much faster stop with his crew. DiBenedetto in 14th. Trying to keep his miracle playoff run alive. 8 points to the good over Blaney. But Truex is out of the race. Which would mean DiBenedetto would outscore Truex where he's running, so realistically he would have to outscore the next closest guy behind Blaney, which would be Chase Elliott, but Elliott is leading the race. So, then you go to the third driver back. Is DiBenedetto outscoring Kevin Harvick? And then is he outscoring Brad Keselowski in front of him? And he is outscoring Harvick currently. Brad Keselowski, he would have to only outscore by 4 positions. And that's where it's pretty tight right now. Last we saw, Keselowski was in 18th. Benedetto 21st. That is 4 spots. So it would be tied between DiBenedetto and Keselowski for that final spot right now, if Elliott wins. If Hamlin, Logano, or Schneider can catch up, then that would only help DiBenedetto out even more. He's got a big run. Schneider going to block him. We'll say, though, this draft in this game, no matter what track you're at, is very powerful. That was a big wheel spin. Schneider almost looped it. Especially when he hit the curb. The curb seemingly might have straightened him out a little bit more. How awkward of an angle that was heading into the backstretch chicane. We lap 20 on these tires this time by. Schneider sends it into the front stretch chicane now. Gets through there perfectly. Logano trying a wide arc. Byron's holding up Joey. That's going to help his teammate of the 48 who's closing in quick. Byron already in the next round. He's got nothing to lose. He's trying to help his teammates out. Schneider to the inside of Logano for third. Off of turn 4. Clear. Clean pass. Now he's got to get around his teammate. Schneider to the outside. Not going to work that time. Undercuts the corner, backs it up, blows around the 24. Quickly enough that Logano couldn't actually fall in line behind the 48 to get around the 24 car himself. So now there's a buffer car between the third and fourth place drivers for position. This is a high in the running order. Schneider's been all day through the first 67 laps. First time he's been up inside the top 3. We have had no sign of where Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott have been so far tonight. Big bounce off the curb. The quick reaction for Schneider to catch it without hitting the wall is just impressive of itself. Closing in on the 8 of Reddick. Gets into him a little bit. Shout out to Eric Jones running in 11th right now for RPM. Jones is just going to leave the bottom open for Schneider to get by with ease. No issues whatsoever there. Schneider into the back of Cindric now in the front stretch chicane. Schneider holding clear of the 33. There's Elliott already coming out of the pits. So Elliott a short pit, Schneider to second. Hamlin to the lead. There's damage on the 9 car. That might have been why he pit. But now he's got fresher tires and he's going to try to drive away from the 48. So Elliott's still going to be able to make it. One more stop to the end. It also goes to show how far ahead of the 48 car he was, but now he's not leading. That'll help De Benedetto out. Well, I'm sure he'll cycle back to the lead eventually. And again, those fresh tires are definitely allowing the 9 to pull away from the 48. Kyle Larson, Cody Ware, next 2 drivers ahead of Chase Elliott. And lap 73 would be 25 laps into this current tire stint for Keegan Schneider before he would make that 3rd stop of the day. Look at Larson getting loose. Elliott held up behind Larson. Might open up an opportunity for Schneider to make the pass on the 9 as he squeezes underneath of Chase Elliott. Gonna try the crossover now. On the inside of the 9, a slide. Almost got around him, but not quite. Oh, and Elliott hops back in line. Schneider's there. He's pinched. Nowhere to go for both Elliott and Schneider as they battle for second. Schneider with the undercut. Oh, what a move. Larson and Ware get together, and that stacks up Elliott. The 51 and the 5 made contact, getting back to the gas off the exit of the backstretch chicane, and Schneider rolls past for 2nd place. That was a job well done. Here, Tony Stewart in the booth for the 500. Yes, the 500 and the Busch Clash. I'll be at Daytona, so I won't be able to hear that broadcast. I'll be doing the live commentary for the Busch Clash, so I'll hear him in my ear. But realistically, with me calling the race, I'm not really going to pay too close of attention to what all he has to say. This is as high as Schneider's been in the running order now at 2nd place. For the most part, he has kept the car clean. Can he keep it that way, though? Continues to try and close on the 11 of Denny Hamlin. He's a couple laps away from his second stop of the race. It's Logano and Elliott now battling. Larson still holding his teammate up. Schneider now trying to get around Kevin Harvick, who's in 9th, already 1 lap down. Still caution-free in today's race as well. And it may stay that way. And honestly, the way things have gone, we've only had 2 of the 6 previous road course races this season have a caution. You'd have to assume that this one could be the 5th to go caution-free. Daytona road course, Road America, Indianapolis road course, and Coda were the other 4 races that went caution-free. Sonoma, Watkins, Glen, the only 2 we actually saw at yellows in those races. Schneider going to stay out this time by. I think he's closing in on Denny Hamlin. He's only a few seconds behind him. That would be equal pace with the 11. But Elliott is already pit. That would give Schneider a little bit fresher tires than the 9. Of course, the 9 is struggling in traffic right now too, which can't be helping him. We'll just have to wait and see. Contact with the back bumper of Brendan Gaughan. That's going to slow the 48 of Schneider up as well. We haven't had that extremely close finish to a race on this career mode yet. Gaughan nearly runs the 48 off the track. A little bit more contact. That was off the exit of turn 7. I don't believe there's another lap car between 1st and 2nd all of a sudden. "25 laps on these tires currently, and Schneider's going to stay out 1 more lap and try to make it 26. He's got clean air in front of him for the moment. This will be as far as he's gone on 1 set of tires in today's race. He barrels it down into the front stretch chicane, makes it through cleanly, trying to close on Hamlin for another lap. Schneider definitely going to pit this time by, not wanting to risk it too far. Again, big picture would be just make it into the next round of the playoffs. So far, he has done enough to do so today. Tyler Burbeck as well, welcome to the stream. I know I don't think I shouted you out. I know I read your comment, though, about Tony Stewart in the booth. It brings some star power. Should help the TV ratings that much more for those 2 races, you would think. Not quite up there with Jeff Gordon as far as, you know, overall star power, say even Dale Jr., but does help a little bit. Into the pit lane. Goes the 48. 3rd stop of the day. 4 tires of fuel, no adjustments. And again, no mistake by the AI in this game taking over for the pit stop. Looks like Kyle Larson's in the same lap as the 48 now, so Schneider should try to gain a little bit more time on the 2nd place car of Hamlin, or eventually will be 2nd place. Of course, Hamlin leads currently. What will go down in this one? Who will get the win at the Roval? And who will be the drivers to make it into the round of 8 with William Byron. Yeah, they did promote the Clash a couple times yesterday during the football game. There's Truex in the pits after being out of the race. So Logano and Hamlin would still have to pit. Elliott should be able to make it on one more stop to the end of the race. He pitted around lap 67 to 69. Schneider's got fresher tires on him. He's going to try to run him down as best as he can. What, the stream itself is laggy or the game's laggy? It looks fine on my end. I need some other comments down in the chat to verify. Contact between Schneider and Stenhouse. It might have just been for a brief second. It might have lagged. I believe, well, either Logano or Hamlin pit because Schneider's up to third. That last time he went by the pit lane. Schneider makes the move on Custer. Custer gets out of the gas off oval turn 2, lets the 48 go. Schneider sends it into that backstretch chicane. Big slide by the 96, trying to get into the braking zone now as well. Dillon pinching off the 48 of Schneider. Schneider unable to make the pass yet. Now he will into turn 3. Schneider's just pushing extremely hard right now. The playoffs he's had so far, he would love to get a win in the round of 12. Even further solidifying himself. That'd be 5 more playoff points he could carry into the next round also. We'll have 32 laps to go at the start-finish line this time by. Once he gets around Cindric off of oval turn 2, as he will right there, Cindric lets him go. A little bit more clean air now in front of the 48. But the guy he's going to have to likely beat today is going to be his teammate Chase Elliott, who has dominated the race after qualifying on the outside of the front row. The one stopper to the end for everybody. Elliott is back in the lead. Hamlin had a quick stop, so he's still in second. So even with the 48 pitting at least one lap before him, Hamlin will cycle out ahead of the 48. Now, granted, Schneider was a couple seconds behind Hamlin still. Into the pit lane to begin with. Guess you can't count Hamlin out of it yet. 49ers fan, I was prepared. I know, and as a Packers fan, I was prepared for us to win. Especially the way it was going last night. I knew it was close. But our defense was so good, I didn't think that we could give up those points, and the only reason we did was because of special teams, not even the defense. Ryan Blaney with a later pit stop. Still in 12th. Looks like there may be a little bit of a lag right now. Just disconnected. See if that helps at all. Alright, I think we're good now. Yeah, OBS crazy for a little bit. It still may be the weather outside. We've received like 5 to 6 inches of snow. No, now it's... It rebooted and it worked for a quick second there, and now it's back. Hard to tell exactly what's going on. All right. Well, man, every time. All right. I believe we're back. Tough to tell for sure. I believe everything is up and running perfectly fine now. I do believe. So we will continue into the finish of this race. I believe we have just about 30 laps to go at the Charlotte Roval. Let me know down in the chat if the mic is working, if everything else is working. Again, I just went through, I rebooted the internet, and everything seems to be working pretty good now. So let's get this in before we have any more issues. Okay. Forgot where I was on the racetrack. I almost ended up in the wall. Got a little loose off the exit of Oval Turn 2. Now got to get back down into the braking zone, into the backstretch chicane. All that rhythm was gone away, but now Schneider's going to have to get it back as he fights in the third position, not too far behind second place Denny Hamlin. 30 laps to go this time by. They get back to the start-finish line. Chase Elliott, of course, already there. He is the race leader. A win will advance Elliott into the championship, or sorry, into the round of 8 of the playoffs. Schneider looking to make a pass on his teammate William Byron to the inside into turn 1. Byron not giving him a lot of room. Schneider almost gets into him. Byron actually wheel hopped, getting back to the gas, and he ended up hitting the wall himself, allowing for Schneider to make the pass. Hamlin gets loose now into turn 3, and he nearly wipes out. Trying to keep it off the back bumper, the 51 of Cody Ware, contact as they battle for second between Schneider and Hamlin. Ware goes a bit wide. Schneider keeps it on the track. Hamlin spins! Hamlin off the curb, and he goes around in turn 2. We stay green, no caution. Schneider's up to second. Denny Hamlin with a major mistake. With just 30 laps to go. Trauma late at the Roval. And Hendrick Motorsports now run 1-2. Schneider was pressuring Hamlin into a situation that may have made him a bit more uncomfortable, and he makes a mistake in that same pressured situation. Schneider's trying to fight back after our bit of a stream lag delay there for about, I don't know how long it was. It felt like an eternity. It was probably only like 5 to 10 minutes, but we are back and running. Trisha Times, welcome to the stream as well. Big battle late. Now can Schneider run down Elliott? It's going to be tough. He's quite a ways behind him. We haven't really seen him outside of when Elliott had pit a little bit before the 48. Schneider had cycled around him in lap traffic. But Schneider has not led yet. Again, Chase Elliott is the leader. He is below the cutoff line by 11 points coming into the race today. May need to win to get in. But Schneider trying to get his 10th win of his career. Not going to make it easy for his teammate. Chase Elliott! Oh no! Into the wall! Schneider is just blowing her left front now. Heavy contact with the tire barriers. He was trying to get back up onto the oval. And again, a mistake for the driver in second. That is unbelievable. And again, no caution. Schneider going to have to pit. And I don't know if he can make it on fuel to the end, but he's going to have to try. Did that in practice also, and I don't know how I did it. But I did it in practice, and now again in the race. Schneider will pit. 4 tires and fuel. His final stop of the day. He is still in second coming into the pit lane. That's the only good thing. And everybody's making a mistake except for Chase Elliott. His pit crew hasn't been that fast all day. It'll be the 4th stop for Schneider, the 2nd time he's blown a tire. And now he's just got to hope he can make it on fuel to the finish. It's going to be tough. He's going to have to go about 28 laps. Elliott may be in the pits as we speak. So there are a few other cars in the pit lane right now. It's actually Stenhouse, Bubba Wallace also in the pit lane. Truex is out of the race. Schneider gassing it up. He's going to have to go 28 laps on fuel to the end of the race. He hasn't gone more than 26 all day today, but I think he's got to risk it now. He's a lap down. Chase Elliott is the leader. Again, Elliott is the leader. Schneider is a lap down. He's got fresher tires than Elliott. Elliott still has to pit one more time. This is where Schneider's really got to get going. He cannot afford to waste any time. Car seemingly handling fine. Schneider's made passes in that area of the racetrack all day long. Never made a mistake in doing so. Even passed cars on the outside in that corner from time to time. But that time around, it just did not work whatsoever. Big bounce off the curb, nearly sends him into the wall again as he's pushing extremely hard. He's still in the top 5. So as far as his playoff hopes go, I think he'll be alright. He may still cycle to second because he held off Hamlin before coming into the pits anyway. Schneider pushing extremely hard, barely keeping the right side tires up on the curbing. Wait to see exactly when Elliott pits. He would technically be on lap 84 right now. William Byron holding up his teammate Elliott. On for his other teammate of Schneider to get a little bit closer. Still caution free. You never know. He could get a yellow today. Though we saw Schneider spin just a couple moments ago. We saw Hamlin spin from second as well. Second place maybe not the safe place to be. Elliott's still stuck behind his teammate Byron. Schneider again closing. Now into the front stretch chicane. Gained a ton on Chase Elliott. Definitely going to have to get back on the lead lap in case we get a caution. There's no free pass in this game for whatever reason. Schneider underneath Elliott makes the pass. He's back on the lead lap. Schneider to the outside of William Byron. Blows around Byron on the top side of the racetrack. That was a great move. And I don't think Elliott was able to follow him either. Elliott's still stuck behind the 24. Still stuck behind him. Elliott now to the outside, and he'll make his way around. Well, Hamlin is spun. Schneider's spun. Will Elliott spin it all? And when will the 9 pit? He didn't that time around. He's still keeping pace with the 48, even on a little bit older tires. Just adding to why Elliott has been so dominant in the first place. There's just no way Schneider's going to make up a full lap on him with him having to pit. He's only going to have fresher tires than Schneider when he makes his way off the pit lane as well. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles one more time in today's race when we get back to the start-finish line this time around. I just don't see there being a caution today. Obviously, you hold on to the hope that there could be, as long as it comes out before the final lap. We would have a restart. $4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the second race of our doubleheader today still. Even with the delay, I think we're still on pace with this race going caution-free that it could get done in time. They'll be at the Kansas Speedway on NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 for the Truck Series custom schedule season. More cars in the pits as we speak. When will Elliott again make his final stop? Schneider sends it underneath Eric Almirola. Bit of contact as Schneider shoves his way by. Crew chief said he was all clear. There's BJ McLeod. He's still there, obviously. Now Schneider's clear. I think Elliott pit that last lap, by the way, as well. Well, never mind. He may still be out on the racetrack. Maybe Elliott runs out of fuel. Something. I mean, Schneider's hoping for anything at this point. Inside Uranus, welcome to the stream. That was not a great corner for the 48. What could have been if he didn't blow a tire at all today? Could he have been able to stretch it on 3 stops and everybody else having to pit 4? Who knows? Could he have been able to keep the pace? Even if he does make it to the end on fuel, which is still a question mark. If he runs out of gas, it could cost him a playoff spot. Because if he runs out of gas, he's stalling out on the racetrack. So he's still going to have to hope to make it to the end for his playoff hopes to stay alive. After the unintentional short pit after blowing the left front tire in turn number 10. Well, turn 9, I guess. Schneider brushes the wall again. Turn 2. Didn't blow a tire. Celebrated too hard yesterday. Hey, as a Niners fan, you should. What a crazy end of the season they've had. They had to come back down by 20 points at halftime versus the Rams just to get into the playoffs. Survive a nail-biter against the Cowboys, a nail-biter against the Packers. Insane. The Cowboys and Packers were two Super Bowl contending teams that both had disappointing ends to their season. And the Niners are the one that knocked both of them out. Oh, he just woke up. Jeez. Schneider nearly blows the front stretch chicane again. Another close call. Lap 90 at the line. I don't know how I went down into neutral, but I guess I did. I think I didn't blow an engine there. Back rolling smoothly again. Nobody in the top 4 has made their final stop yet. $19 laps to go this time by. Another little brush off the wall. Second time in turn 2 during this current tire stint. And we don't know if Schneider can make it 28 laps on fuel anyway to the end of the race. If he does, it seems as if he should finish in second place. Still closing on Busch for 4th currently. We'll see if Kyle Busch pits this time. He does not. Well, wheel hop by the 18. I'd be shocked if everybody in the top 4 pitted and Schneider lost that many spots on pit road, considering the fact that he was in second still when he pit. He didn't repair any damage, so there's no reason that the pit stop should have taken that long that he would have lost 3 spots as spread out as the field has been, because there's not been a caution yet. Got in the back of Kyle Busch a couple corners ago. He is battling the 18 car extremely hard right now. But he cannot get around him. Not yet, at least. Will Busch pit this time? He will not. Schneider will have to battle him another lap as he looks to the inside. Busch, oh, he brake checks the 48. Contact is made. And that slowed the 48 down quite a bit after the contact, and seeming like it helped the 18 of Busch get the drive off. I've got the Rams today. Granted, I went 0 for 2 in picks yesterday. So maybe that's a sign that the Bucs will win. It's honestly a little shocking to me that the rest of the field has still not pit. Logano's actually in second place right now. Denny Hamlin's back to third. Schneider sends it on Kyle Busch. Clears him into the heavy braking zone on the front stretch chicane. Spot gain for the 48. He's back to fourth. Looking to get around Matt DiBenedetto now. He's back to 18th place. And with Elliott leading, DiBenedetto in danger of missing the playoffs, or missing the next round of the playoffs. It's going to be tough. I like seeing Matthew Stafford happy. Yeah, he's sticking it to the Lions right now with what he's been doing in LA. Saying, see, I can win football games. Considering the Bengals are from my home state, it would be cool to see them win their first Super Bowl this year. I didn't think they were going to win yesterday. They did. Who knows? They're only one win away. Schneider very lucky he didn't blow a tire. Third time he's hit the wall in turn 2 since the most recent pit stop. So he continues to push extremely hard. Go back to the far chase cam for the rest of the race. Once we get back to the start-finish line at least. Schneider underneath Brad Keselowski. Trying to make the pass on Brad. Brad with the acceleration on the outside. Schneider's just been lacking that straightaway speed all day long. Now he'll hop in the draft of the 2 car. Brad with a defensive line down low. Schneider going to really try to arc the corner off a lot better than Brad. Gets a little bit of that time back. Schneider dive bombs underneath Keselowski. Big bounce off the curb. Ooh, boy, Schneider barely kept it off the wall that time around. Clearing the 20 of Bell. Schneider is just... You gotta expect that the damage on the left side of the race car has to be the reason why he's pushing it so hard. Or not pushing it so hard, making it look as if he's pushing it hard. The drivability in the race car is just not there like it once was. Oh, there's a lot more Browns fans where I live, Northwest Ohio. I'm like 3 hours north of Cincy. Only about an hour and a half east of, or sorry, an hour and a half west of Cleveland. Schneider into the back of Ross Chastain. That front stretch chicane. Pushes it hard now into turn 2. Clears Chastain. "13 laps to go." And Schneider hoping that he can at least make it on fuel. Drives right around Kurt Busch. Clean pass there. 13 of Chase Briscoe. Next car in front of him. Oh, Briscoe slides quite a bit. His older tire. Schneider making the pass on the 14. He's passed 3 cars already this lap. Obviously all a lap down ahead of him. A good draft off of Tyler Reddick. Oh, off the curbing, contact with the 1, or with the 8, I should say, of Tyler Reddick. Both cars getting squeezed in that backstretch chicane. Schneider holds on in front of Briscoe. Schneider dive bombs the 8. Gets around him cleanly that time around. 4 passes made for Schneider on that lap on lap cars. That was even with having a little bit of contact with one of them. Stuck behind the 43. Eric Jones makes the pass on the outside in turns 6 and 7. Power slide back up onto the oval behind Justin Haley. Looking to the inside of the 77 of Haley. He'll drive past the 31st place car. $11 to go this time by. Leaders have not made their final stop yet. Schneider slides the tires into the braking zone on the front stretch chicane. He's going to send it into turn 1 to try and pass the 00 of Quinn Houff. Nope, Houff going to cut him off instead. Schneider still sitting behind him. Schneider sends it into turn 3 and he'll make the pass there on Houff. 14 people watching right now. 17 likes. Smash the like button. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. 11 laps to go in the Bank of America Roval 400 today. We had a little bit of technical issues, but we are getting through this one still on time to have a doubleheader at our originally scheduled time slots. Our next race will be on NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will be the Truck Series Custom Schedule season at the Kansas Speedway, 250-mile, 167-lap race there. Can't wait for that beer at Auto Club. Yep, I did remember that. I actually remembered it this morning. I was like, oh shoot, I lost a bet. More worried about the Packers losing last night itself as a football fan than the bet. It's like Kyle Larson in the pits. He's been one of the first cars to pit all day long. Lap 100. We get a caution now. We're only going to have a few laps to go. So we have 10 laps remaining currently. Logano's still in second. Hamlin's still in third. Schneider should cycle ahead of those two at least after he pits. Be shocked if he didn't. He was in second place when he made his fourth and potentially final stop of the day. Again, I say potentially because he's going to have to go 28 laps on fuel to the end of the race. He's only gone as far as 26 laps on a full run today, with the playoffs looming. And he has ran, even with the issues, top 10 pretty much all day. I think there's a good chance Aaron Rodgers does not return to Green Bay. You just have to wait and see. It's going to be a long off season. There's going to be a lot of guys that are leaving. They're definitely not going to be able to hang on to everybody. Both offensively and defensively. We definitely need to fire that special teams coordinator, because that was just terrible. I mean, they've been bad all season, but when it leaks into the playoffs as badly as it did last night, that's the only reason we lost. Packers offense could have been a little bit better, but I mean, we had the game won, but the special teams cost us the game. There's the potential that Elliott has already pit, but we definitely know that Logano and Hamlin have not pit yet. Those guys still trying to make it on 3 stops as well. Elliott is definitely not going to be able to make it on 3 stops, but there's a chance Logano and Hamlin may be able to make it. You'd have to imagine if they do, that would mean Schneider should be able to make it, considering he pit well after them. Well, Schneider's up to 3rd. Logano has pit. Hamlin has not. Hamlin was in 3rd, so Logano being in 2nd when he hit pit road, that tells me that Schneider will easily cycle into 2nd place when Hamlin makes his final stop of the day. And you hope if you're the 48 that you can catch the 9 of Elliott. I don't think it's possible, but maybe he makes a mistake. We saw Hamlin spin on his own earlier. Schneider got a position out of it. And obviously Logano did too. Ultimately. Big key, make it on fuel to the end of the race. And a 2nd place will be good enough to advance into the round of 8 of the playoffs. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. I feel like the 49ers would be a great fit for Rodgers, to be quite honest. Yep, Schneider up to second, Hamlin in the pits. He almost blew turn one if you didn't see on your screen. It's one wall he has not tagged today. That treacherous turn one wall. Problem is, if we get a caution now, though, Schneider would have older tires compared to everybody else. You don't want to pit because he could potentially go a lap down. He would definitely make it on fuel. Well, the thing is, though, we go into overtime. I don't think Schneider would make it on fuel, so it might be safer for him to pit anyway. Even if he's sacrificing a couple positions, he'd still make it if he loses a few spots. Oh, we got trouble on the front stretch. Stenhouse has gone around. Blaney's got contact. Schneider just trying to get through it. Kevin Harvick caught up. A little bit of contact between the 12 and the 48. There's nowhere for the 48 car to go. That's going to slow Schneider down quite a bit. So Austin Dillon just come out of the pits a couple laps ago. That would have been terrible for Ryan Blaney, considering that Kevin Harvick is and Blaney below the cutoff line coming in. They're in a good spot. At least Blaney is in a good spot to make it. I don't think Harvick would make it. Maybe he was trying to pull a Harvick back at the Roval in real life this year when he tried to take out Elliott to get in on the last spot. And it backfired on him. I wouldn't rule that out of the question. Didn't see how it started. We just saw the aftermath of them being stacked up. But again, no yellow. We've been seeing spins throughout the day. We have not seen a caution for any of them. There was another spin right there. No caution. I just don't see a caution waving, giving us a restart. 5 laps to go, though, for the 48 to try and reel it in second place. Again, he's just got to make it on fuel. And he will be in the round of 8 of the playoffs. Despite a DNF in the first 2 races of the round. Clutch second place performance today after starting last and having 2 blown tires. A blown right front, blown left front. Just the fight to get to second place alone. Really incredible, and you have to assume he would have had a great chance to win this if he didn't have those issues. But going into the next round, you got to take what you can get at this point. I don't think he's going to Denver. I don't know why that comes up in the rumor mill so much. He is not going to Denver. Four to go. We're not sure exactly how far Elliott is ahead of Schneider. We'll know when the white flag waves exactly. Then we could, dictate if Schneider did legitimately have a chance to catch Elliott. I still don't think he would, but just in case. Schneider has ran down the Dillon brothers now. Austin and Ty, a little contact with Austin. Schneider on the outside. Oh, Dillon just using up the 48. Barely gets around him. Drives underneath the 96 of Ty Dillon as well, and he'll pass the 35th place car of Dillon. A lot of slow traffic right in front of the 48. Nowhere for him to go. Bouncing big time up off the curbs. 3 laps left. About 45 minutes away from race 2 on our doubleheader Sunday afternoon. Davison and Cindric passed in turns 3 and 4 by the 48 of Schneider. Lap 26 of the run. Schneider's only gone this far on fuel the entire race today. Definitely the moment of truth. Can you make it an extra 2 laps? Also, Logano did cycle to 3rd ahead of Hamlin. Kind of figured that would be the case, but forgot to verify it. Schneider blows around LaJoie. Elliott is already well received, 2 to go. I think Schneider's only going to really catch 2 more cars than this one ahead of him, which would be Ryan Newman and Joey Gase. Wow, Elliott has got such a gigantic lead. I mean, Schneider had to make 2 extra stops, but the fact he's still in 2nd, what a dominating performance by Chase Elliott today. The white flag is in the air, final lap of the race. Schneider will clear Newman off oval turn 2. Lap and a half, less than a lap and a half to go for the 48. This is lap 27 on fuel. Quickly get to the inside of Joey Gase in the 53. A lot of those lap cars that tried to make it up 3 stops have been pitting within the last few laps, which is why you see some random cars in the pits. Chase Elliott perfectly fine to the end. He will get to the checkered flag, and Chase Elliott with a win will advance into the into the round of 8 of the playoffs. Came in 11 points to the negative, qualified 2nd, dominated, led the most laps of this race. For a brief moment, Schneider looked as if he could contend until he blew that left front with less than 30 to go. He may have had a shot even with the first blown tire earlier in the day. He's got about a half a lap to go. Checkered flag is in the air. Chase Elliott, again, has 1 at the Roval. He is in the next round. If Schneider could just make it on fuel a little bit longer, he'll go 28 laps on fuel to the end of the race. He's got 2 chicanes still remaining. And honestly, if he gets to oval turn 4, he could coast it from there. He's got the speed right now. He could probably just coast it from here if he really had to. That's going to do it. Checkered flag. Schneider, 2nd place. He will take it, and he will advance into the round of 8 of the playoffs. Kurchi just warned us that we were very low on fuel as soon as we hit the start-finish line 45 seconds margin of victory for Chase Elliott in this race today. He just dominated. What's new? That's the third career win at the Roval for Chase Elliott. 1-2 finish for Hendrick Motorsports. Joey Logano finishes in third. Denny Hamlin fourth. Kyle Busch rounds out the top 5. Austin Dillon 6th. Chris Buescher 7th. William Byron 8th. Ryan Blaney 9th. Kevin Harvick rounds out the top 10. And we're about to see who made it into the playoffs. Drivers outside the top 10 in the playoffs include Kyle Larson at 12th. He is into the next round. Tyler Reddick at 15th. He will be eliminated today. Brad Keselowski 18th. Matt DiBenedetto 21st. That is concerning for both of those guys. The Truex might actually make it into the next round, with Keselowski and DiBenedetto finishing that far back. The Truex was 21 points ahead of those guys. He would have gotten 1 point. 17 for DiBenedetto. I guess Truex would have only been 13 ahead of DiBenedetto, and then Keselowski a little bit closer to Truex. So Keselowski finished behind Truex, DiBenedetto. We know Reddick's eliminated. Truex finished dead last. I think Truex is going to be eliminated. And then what? Harvick? Harvick would be eliminated. Elliott won. He's in. Did Blaney outscore DiBenedetto by 8? He did. Blaney finished 9th, DiBenedetto. So, Ryan Blaney, I believe, with a 9th place finish, got the last spot into the next round of the playoffs, beating Matt DiBenedetto by 3 points, if I'm not mistaken. So, if I do my math correctly, the 4 drivers that are eliminated would be Martin Truex Jr. with a tough DNF, despite 21 points to the good. He was the only driver in DNF today. After starting on the pole, nonetheless, what a tough break for him. Kevin Harvick would have been eliminated by 4 points to Ryan Blaney. Tyler Reddick was well behind on points. And then Matt DiBenedetto would have missed by 3 points. So by 3 points, Blaney gets in over DiBenedetto and 4 points over Harvick. And we'll confirm. We'll see if my statistics and my math adds up, and we'll also see what the round of 8 of the playoffs will look like going into Kansas tomorrow night. Texas is the next race. Not Kansas. Texas will be the next race. But the rookie is in the round of 8 of the playoffs nonetheless, and he's back to being the number 1 seed into that round at least. Truex made it? Oh, no, my bad. There's only 8. I was going to say. I was confused. Yeah, so I did my math correctly. DiBenedetto, Reddick, Truex, Harvick, they all missed. Hamlin has had some good runs. Of course, a win at Talladega, even though he was eliminated in the first round and then finished in 4th place today at the Roval. So he's up to 10th in points. And only 6 behind Truex. He can still finish as high as 5th. Reddick is 15th in points, despite the fact that he made it to the round of 12. So that's got to be a little disappointing for him. Same thing goes for Bell. He's up to 12th, even though he's eliminated in the round of 16. So there's a look at the 8 drivers who will still be competing for a championship. All 4 Hendrick Motorsports drivers inside the top 5. Is it possible that we could have an all Hendrick Motorsports Championship 4 at Phoenix? If we do, they're all going to have equal cars. That's probably going to actually make for a pretty fun race. We'll see. I mean, that's the plan for an organization, for a team in this kind of a situation. Brad Keselowski will be 16 points below the cutoff line in the 8th seed. Ryan Blaney will be 13 points below the cutoff line in the 7th seed. Kyle Busch will be 3 points behind the cutoff line in the 6th seed. Chase Elliott will be the first driver below the cutoff line, -2. Joey Logano will be +2 points above the cutoff line. Final spot in when we start it. 13 points to the good will be William Byron in 3rd. Kyle Larson will be 21 points to the good. And then Keegan Schneider will be 31 points to the good heading into Texas. Final 500-mile race of the year will be the next race, again, at the Texas Motor Speedway. Now, there has been an issue with this game, that the game seems to crash at Texas Motor Speedway a lot, and it usually happens in the middle of green flag pit stops. So if there's any cautions or a pit stop under caution, we seem to not have an issue with the game crashing. But I noticed when the AI pit under green at Texas, the game crashes. So I will try to get that in. The plan is for tomorrow night. I plan on doing it tomorrow. So maybe if we get the next patch update by tomorrow morning when I go to actually record this race, that maybe they'll have that fixed. They should have it fixed. And if not, then I will try my best. I mean, what we did in the custom schedule season, the game literally crashed over and over and over again. And we just had to run a shortened race. I didn't plan on running a shortened race, but I had to because anytime you went to make a pit stop, you'd have those issues. So that would be the worst case scenario if the game kept crashing on us. But that will be a premiere tomorrow night. I'm actually going to Monday Night Raw in Toledo, Ohio tomorrow. So I will not be live streaming tomorrow, but we will be live streaming a doubleheader today, again at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that will be the Truck Series at Kansas on NASCAR 05. So tune in today. In a little over half hour, we'll have our second race of the doubleheader. And it should be a fun one at Kansas. And then tomorrow, premiere at Texas at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will try to be in the chat for that one. It'll be tough because I'll be on the road. But I won't be driving, so I might be able to actually still get in there. We'll just have to wait and see. But that will be out tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you very, very soon.